Hi, just to say, I'm Norah, and I'm a 2024 Atlanta Youth YPL Ambassador. This is my poem, And Yet. Through the lens of a decade, I've watched the education system mold and morph before my eyes. Those two eyes, round and bold, unchanging as my body grew up, the same mind, just a little wiser. I've watched the silver screen plasma effect of the school board shift beneath my feet. I've felt the power and the powerless. I've grown and I've lost. And through the years, the countless tears and yearnings for just a little better, a higher grade, one more award or trophy, I've gathered the A+ corner slips in a box beneath my bed. I've held tight to the validation. It's morphed and contorted into the fuel driving my beat-down engine. And yet, through the benevolent teachers and shrinks, one small promise, a supposed beacon of just enough hope, has powered the poor-oiled machines of this generation. Our own world. Isn't that the goal? Isn't that what we've been promised, proclaimed, and prophesied to hold in our hearts when the time is right? It's cataclysmic. It is the way we float with the world on our backs, with the title of tomorrow's leaders clenched deep within our palms. And yet, all of this pressure, the shallow tick-tick-tick of the classroom wall clock, the added textbooks, the metal detector lineups, the do better, do more, be more, self-pushing, all of this weight, and yet we still do not know who we are. See, we know the suburbs, we know the elementary schools, we know the first steps of the tree trunks, we know all the family lines, and yet we do not know who we are or where we come from. I've traced the lines, I must confess, and while I may not speak for the millennium, I speak for myself. And sometimes, just maybe sometimes, that's enough for the rest of us. I am from the creativity birthed to seem interesting, to force the idea of academic validation deeper, deeper, deeper into the mind of a girl so adept at knowing that she has forgotten the ways of ignorance. I am from the poetry and Plath, the debates and Dickens. I am from the land of the learning, am I not? The upturn of my shallow lips, the harp, the chorus, the string of praise floating from the letter grade of my English text to the smile plastered upon my mother's face, the validation that comes from the synonyms for education. It's embedded through not enough counter-arguments. It's the belief that maybe the consolation is more than such. It's the irrefutable love of learning, the love of living. They say that ignorance is bliss, but haven't we found heaven in the knowing? Yes, there may be indisputable danger in the aware, but there's promise in the flames. The adventure, it's what strives to birth our society. It's the learning, the knowing, the growing. Education, isn't that our true home? For without the comprehension, are we not just shapeless bodies floating without cause in the place of our home? Are we not just moons circling a broken planet? And yet, with all of this fury placed in our homeland, in the realization that our mother is the education, yet we still do not know how to carry the world. This narrative, yes, the perhaps fabricated streams the system tells us to believe, it's grown and it's shifted, and yet it hasn't fully changed. For throughout the plethora of school boards and societies, one thought, though perchance cliched, remains true. We are from the education, and yet it is from us. Thank you.